this afternoon we're learning of, we just heard about the imposition of curfew in the Yendi township and its environs. And I'm going to read for you a statement that has been released a few minutes ago by the Interior Minister. It reads, imposition of curfew on Yendi townships and its environs. It is dated 18th of January 2019, which is today. It says the Minister for the Interior has, on the advice of the Northern Regional Security Council and by executive instrument, imposed a 5 p.m. to 7 a.m. curfew on Yendi Township and its environs, effective Friday, 18th January 2019, that is today. The imposition of the curfew is to forestall any violence as well as ensure the maintenance of law and order in Yendi and its environs. The statement goes on to say that government urges chiefs, elders, opinion leaders, youth and people of the area to exercise restraint in the face of the challenges confronting them, as well as to use non-violent means to channel their energies into ensuring peace in the area. Meanwhile, there is total ban on all persons in the Yendi township and its environs from carrying arms, ammunition, or any offensive weapon, and any persons found with any arms or ammunition will be arrested and prosecuted. It is copied to all media houses. The Honorable Ministry for Justice and Attorney General's Department in Accra, and the production coordinator, Ghana Publishing Company, and it is signed by Ambrose Derry, Member of Parliament, is also Minister for the Interior. So this is coming a few hours after you saw, as we brought to you, a lot of excitement shown in Yendi after the final funeral rite of Yana Yakubu Wandani was brought to an end in Yendi. We've been trying to get responses from the regional minister on this particular development. We do not have the minister at the moment, but we'll be getting more information from him. But the information really is here in the document that was signed by the Interior Minister. Let's get on the line and speak to Justice Bedu, who has been on the ground for us. Hello, Justice.
Hi, Gifty.
Justice, I believe that we know we just had this information from the Interior Ministry concerning the curfew that has been imposed on Yendi. What more can you add to this?
Yes, so this was has always been expected, Gifty, because like I did report earlier, there are 4 very key chiefs in Dagbon who are all in line to be selected for this Yana, all of whom have very, very huge influence and very huge following as well. And so the indications that I picked from the security detail on the ground was that the curfew, which was expected for morning, is to get everybody off the street and off the town of Yendi, in order that this process goes through. This announcement will go through, and then once the security detail reads the atmosphere in the Yendi, it is likely this would be relaxed, because then a new Yana would obviously have taken over. And so yes, the curfew kicks in at 5 p.m. As of the time when we were in the Bewana Palace, when everybody had heard that this curfew was coming in, people had then started getting themselves ready, people selling on the street and all of that, making themselves, finding the things that they needed to get in so that they could get into their household, because you are not allowed to come in town after 5 p.m., between 5 p.m. until 7 a.m. tomorrow morning.
Very well, Justice. Thank you very much for that information, Justice Bedu. But Justice, before I let you go, earlier you reported about how this the final funeral rite of Yana Yakubu Wandani came to a successful end. Has anything changed? What more can you add after that report?
Well, yes, I mean it's all been joy. I have not met anyone here all the 3 days that we've been around who has shared a different opinion, apart from the fact that this is a joyous moment that they've all been looking forward to. Yana Yakubu Wandani, whose death has sparked this wave of rancor in Dagbon. It's been 17 years since his death, and so they've all been looking forward to this funeral. One of the women I spoke to, who had come from Kumasi and spent the whole week waiting for the funeral this week, told me that a heavy burden, which has always been on his heart, had been lifted because of the event that happened yesterday. Our own colleague, Hashmin Mohammed, who is an indigene of Dagbon and has been reporting for years on this situation, told me, and I was really touched about how what happened yesterday is a big relief even for himself as a journalist living in Tamale and working in the Dagbon area, because now he could move on to focus on reporting on other productive things that would not just move the people of Dagbon forward, but Ghana as a whole forward.
Justice, thank you very much for the good work you've done so far. Justice Baidu there, he's been on the ground reporting. In fact, he reported on the final day of the funeral right as well for the Abudu, of the Buddhists when they had their own, and then he's reported for the Andanis as well. Justice Baidu there. Well, so this morning he filed a report from there.
A grand entrance of chiefs and their traditional warriors heralding what is a historic moment in Dagbon. It's been 17 years of wait for the funeral of a king whose gruesome killing shook the foundations of this land. In the period between 2002 and now, hundreds of lives lost in bloody conflict over who would succeed Yana Yakubu Andani II.
We thank God and we are very grateful.
Bushira Abdul Majid, like many of the young people here today, were very young when the Yana died and can't wait for the wave of opportunities that peace here would bring to them.
We know after all this is over, Dagbon will be Dagbon again. With the youth, development will go on and everything will move on smoothly. So we are very happy and we pray it continues. After all this funeral rites, a new Yana will be installed and peace and unity continues.
The people who have thronged this palace today for this funeral include top shots from the government and the main opposition party, the National Democratic Congress.
Is the clearest indication that the Dagbon may fall, that the Dagbon can rise again at any point in time. So as a son of Dagbon, I feel happy, I feel humbled that we have had this, occasion that indeed has been done successful. Even though prior to this we had some disturbances, but for me, the most important thing is that we put behind us those disturbances and forge ahead.
Now, with this important hurdle successfully crossed, the gates are open for a new Yana to be announced in the coming days. Dagbon and its people now stand on the verge of history. They could take the path to everlasting peace by burying their differences or hold on to the age-old wounds that have eaten up this beautiful land for years. In the meantime, though, it costs nothing to join the dance.
The people here in Yendi can afford to dance after this very, very historic funeral. After all, the peace they've been praying for decades may well be on the horizon now. I'm joining them. Justice Baidu, JoyNews, Yendi.
Well, someone will have to advise Justice about the moves. It wasn't exactly the same, but of course, it's a good shot. You're still watching The Pulse with me, Gifty, and up here. We'll take a very quick break. When we return, we'll be talking about obsession. Well, you can love somebody, but you can love the person so much that you don't want anybody to have even the simplest of access to that person. They say it's called obsession. We'll find out what the signs are when we return. We'll tell you whether your relationship is an obsessive one. Stay with us.